The PWI 500 rankings and ratings are back, and of course, as ever, everybody is mad about it. Reddit is mad about it, and Pete Dunne is mad about it. You're probably mad about it. I'm mad about it. My mum is mad about it, and she doesn't even know what pro wrestling is. It's simple, basic facts. If somebody introduces a list into the conversation, we all go to number one and go, he's number one? I can't believe it. In 2019, Seth Rollins tops that list, and that really should come as no surprise, especially because the PWI 500 is meant to be a kayfabe list. But why? Here's why. First and foremost, yes, never forget that this is based on the achievements within storyline. You know, that little thing that we enjoy when it comes to professional wrestling. So before you go, I can't believe insert wrestler of choice here isn't in number 1 or number 8 or number 10 or number 422. Just take a step back and think to yourself, well, who was the biggest star in the biggest promotion, doing the biggest things or making the biggest buzz? They're going to be number 1. And that's why Seth Rollins is there. It's also why Kenny Omega took it in 2018, why Okada took it in 2017, because these are people that have risen to the top of the industry within their individual companies, and they've smashed it in the ring, and they've smashed it no matter what they've been given to work with, and that is really important. And really, when you look at the last 12 months, I think the man that likes to burn stuff down is a fair choice. Not only has he made his way up to the very, very super top of the WWE card, but he had to do this while his friend Roman Reigns was forced to go away because of an illness. Now, 1, it's hard to get to the top in WWE anyway, but 2, it's even harder when your genuine mate has said, look man, I gotta go take care of myself. Here's the ball, please run with it, and then you get that ball, you do run with it, even though inside you're probably an emotional wreck. Seth Rollins, you get a damn salute. In fact, the only hurdles he did run into were the stories that were given to him, because of course we have to go through the whole Dean Ambrose affair, who basically turned on Seth Rollins because Roman Reigns was sick, and I'll never be able to get that through my head, but we've talked about it on ups and downs time and time again. We're not going to talk about it now, and I think eventually even WWE realized that, because that feud just petered out on TV, and then it was never mentioned again. But if you do go through all their matches, Seth did as much as he could. And from there, he just flew. He had that amazing win at the Royal Rumble, and let's not forget we were all pulling for him to get that victory, and then he had the goodbye with the Shield that now seems a little bit ridiculous, especially because they kept fighting Bobby Lashley, Baron Corbin, and Drew McIntyre, but it did draw the crowds, it did sell the merchandise, so it did exactly what WWE set out to do. Once again, kayfabe list. He then won the Universal title at WrestleMania 35 in a match that many people thought was one of the best of the night, and then transitioned into a feud with AJ Styles, which we can pick up again soon, because AJ Styles is now a heel, and having a good guy Seth Rollins take on a bad guy AJ is money for days. Money would probably just start coming out of my mouth and my brain wouldn't know what's going on. And yes, there was a bunch of nonsense with Lacey Evans, Baron Corbin and Becky Lynch, but once again, Seth did everything that he could do. The match he had at Extreme Rules was as fun as it possibly could be, and then we also had Brock Lesnar coming out, cashing in his Money in the Bank briefcase, which led to their clash at SummerSlam when Seth Rollins did win back the Universal Championship, and I'm not afraid to say that that deserves to be a Match of the Year candidate. They blew it out the water. So in short, Seth barely screwed up, unless he was on Twitter. If it was like a list for people that were really good on social media, then he would probably be in number 500. In fact, he probably wouldn't even make the list. Unless the list was like people that really made themselves look silly, then he'd be there. Let's just forget about it. So it's hard to say that he hasn't cemented his place as a really important figure for WWE. And even if you are a brand new fan and you've never watched Monday Night Raw before, even after around about 15 minutes, you know this is quite clearly a guy I'm meant to take seriously. He's quite clearly an important figure. So we take all of that, we wrap it up in a small ball, there it is, we give it a kiss because it's nice to be nice. The man deserves it. This runs true for the top 10 in general as well. Daniel Bryan was number 2, and my word, who is more consistent than him? The ever-present AJ Styles was 3. Number 4, maybe controversially, was Kofi Kingston, and you can go and debate that in the comments. Okada is 5, Gargano is 6, Roman Reigns is 7, and I can already hear that one guy shouting, oh, I can't believe it, Roman can't wrestle, Roman is rubbish. Omega 8, Tanahashi 9, and Will Ospreay finishes it off at number 10. Again, you're not going to agree because that's just how life works, but each of these people does have a claim when you look at wrestling, like a predetermined version of sports where wins or losses are decided by a man or a woman in the back before anybody has walked to the ring. And in case you don't know, that is what wrestling is. I'm a bit worried that you don't know that, or at least one person doesn't know that. And now I'm the one to reveal that to you. And how much it hurts when my dad told me wrestling was fake, his words, not mine. I cried my eyes out, but it is. And when you take that into account, it's a finalist. Therein lies the point though. As long as it's all respectful and smiley and lovely, I think there's nothing better than a good old war as one person goes, well, I don't think Kenny Omega deserves to be there at all. And someone else goes, Will Ospreay number 10, he should be -5. He's the greatest wrestler in the world. And I've heard both these comments on the internet in the last 24 hours. I ain't making them up. My point being, when the debate is healthy and when the debate is fun, we should use catalysts like this to have a big old chat. It should absolutely get a reaction, especially if that reaction is, I don't like lists like this. And I think they do nothing but cause bother. That seems to be Pete Dunne's opinion, but more power and more respect to him. All I will say is this, if you're a young wrestler, you're a young up-and-comer, and you've known about the PWI 500 for some time, and then you're flicking through the pages and see that you're number, 388, you will smile to yourself, and I bet you feel a little bit proud. It's a sign that you're on the right track and maybe that you've made it. Corey Storm, for example. I ain't gonna lie to you, I ain't gonna hoodwink you. I don't know who Corey Storm is, but I do know he was number 500. I do know I read his bio, and now I know that my eyes are on the lookout for Corey Storm. Really, what you want to do, you either want to be in the top 10, or you want to be number 500, because really number 500 is number 1. It's the first thing people see. So congrats, Seth, it was much deserved, and I especially liked that he went out there on Twitter, he's starting to make up that part of his game, and said that he was really proud of this, as he should be. There's nothing wrong with giving yourself a pat on the back from time to time, even more so, because don't forget about Barry Horowitz. Barry Horowitz made an entire career out of patting himself on the back. And as you know, as we stand here in 2019, no one has ever said ever in the history of the world, Barry Horowitz was wrong. He wasn't wrong. He was a jobber that made it. Kinda, not really, but we still remember him today. Repo Man, Barry Horowitz. Not true, that is not my list. Anyway, to summarize, I just think sometimes we get a little bit too wound up. And also, I think to react like this to Seth Rollins being in number 1 is doing that man a disservice. He has worked his behind off for the last 2 years, also came back from that injury, and now, within the world of kayfabe, from just one person's opinion too, don't forget, he's sitting atop of the tree. So I, for one, will applaud Seth Rollins. I, for one, will say good for you, and I will also say keep smashing it and keep doing your thing. You bring me hours of entertainment, even if it's just me watching Raw and then taking the mick out of you on ups and downs. I will say there is a slight asterisk next to your name, because I did challenge you to a match on ups and downs, Seth, and you ignored me, you ducked me, you never accepted that. So, you know, just know that when you're flicking through those pages and reading the entries, I know I'm not in it, whatever, bald asshole, but I did do that, and you didn't get back to me. Love ya. Okay, cool. Now, as we have got to the end of the video, I deliberately waited to this point because I want to share a little secret with you. Everyone has been so mad that Seth Rollins is number 1 and so is here and so is there. Nobody has actually gone through the whole list. I went through the whole list, and guess who is ranked higher than Zack Sabre Jr.? Give it a minute, think who could be the worst person on the internet to be ranked higher than Zack Sabre Jr. to a fan who really likes New Japan? The answer is Baron Corbin, the future king of WWE. That's right, so if you want to take this list as seriously as some people are, and if you want to take it verbatim, Baron Corbin is better than Zack Sabre Jr. I'm going to leave you now. You're going to get a lovely little outro, as we always do. I hope I either made your day, or I hoped you could question it. Like you're like, I can't believe what's happening anymore. Baron Corbin beat Zack Sabre Jr. in a list. Also, just to end it off, you could probably argue it depending on what you like in your professional wrestling. Now, don't forget to leave a comment below and let us know who do you think should have been number 1 in the PWI. There's loads of people to choose from. Like, share, and subscribe. Head to whatculture.com, read yourself some articles. Follow What Culture on Twitter, What Culture WWE. Watch more videos here on What Culture Wrestling. My name is Simon from What Culture. Thank you very much for watching. And I sat here and I thought, what would be my number 10. I kind of came up with this. Number 1 would be Rusev, because I feel sorry for him and I miss him, and I feel like it would cheer him up a little bit, so that's nice. Number 2 would be Daniel Bryan. Number 3 would be AJ Styles. Number 4 would be Will Ospreay. Number 5 would be Okada. Number 6 would be Chris Jericho. I know that's crazy, but I think he's reinvented the game so much he deserves it. Number 7 would be Cody Rhodes. Number 8 would be Repo Man, because you got to rep the Repo Man, otherwise what's going on? And then 9 and 10 I was a bit like, meh, I don't know what direction to go in. So I'm just going to put Samoa Joe in there because I love him too. And at number 10, because I like to wind people up, Roman Reigns.